Hey gamers, welcome to Chapter 14 in Uncharted 3. Now obviously this is not the start of the chapter, and I do apologize for that. For some reason, when I tried to record it, it didn't record, and I have no idea why. So I am going to go back and show you the two treasures that I missed out on. Or actually three treasures that I missed out on this section, but it'll be in a future video. So again, I do apologize for that if anyone's been following along and is wondering why the first treasure I get or why we just start on this section when we left off on a different section. This is also probably my least favorite chapter, either my least favorite chapter or second least favorite chapter in the whole game. It's definitely pretty up there. I mean, I had to go through this section so many times. I spent at least, like, I would say an hour or two on this section. It was just not fun. Some of that is because in this particular area, the platforms, the cover areas move around because of the boxes, and there's a lot of weird physics things that happen, which is to some extent cool, but when you look at this one section, this one boss gave me so much trouble for so long. I don't know how honestly, I don't even know how I ended up beating him. It felt like it was just lucky. Maybe he got killed by the environment or something. But after I beat him, you go ahead and jump in this pool. You'll get a trophy called Marco's Solo, I believe it is. And then instead of going straight through the rotating door, you're going to go to the left and pick up treasure number, I believe it's 73. Double check there, but yep. And then this next section, I kept replaying it over and over and over again to see if there was a way for me to stealth through the entire area. It was really difficult for me. I know there is a possible way to do it, so I can just kind of do a cut here and take out the first two enemies, and then the rest of them, I think two or three, and then the rest of them I just, finish off the normal way. Like I said, I really wish there was a way for me to do it, but unfortunately there wasn't. So you see there, I just end up taking that guy out the normal way and then going through the rest of the section as is. But still, being able to take out like 4 enemies pretty quickly like that does help. I'm surprised that I actually had trouble with that one. Yeah, and this also area, even if you try to, whether you go through it stealthy or normal, it's a really frustrating section because there's a lot of heavy enemies here. And, there's not a lot of room to maneuver. And so the weapons that I found the most helpful were the Tao's sniper for your sidearm, and then a sawed-off shotgun as your main weapon. And the reason I like that is because those heavy enemies are going to come up close to you, and you want some kind of weapon to really do a lot of high-end damage on them. Now, I'm not saying that's what I did here, but at least if I could go back and do it again, that's what I would recommend. If you don't have grenades, obviously, if you have grenades, take advantage of them. Alright, so I think once I take out these enemies, I want to say go back and pick up that sniper, which works out for me. And then I thought enemies would come out on this left side, but it turns out they come out from behind you. So there's another section of enemies that you have to face, and that's partially why I don't like this area. It's really, really annoying. But I go up there, pick up some more ammo, and then I'm going to do another cut here because I die a lot on this next section. So my strategy actually was because I didn't want to deal with those guys who are trying to shoot at you. So if you keep pressing the dive button, you can avoid them shooting at you because they have to kind of get line of sight with those enemies up there. So if you go to this back section, you can actually stay out of their line of sight and they won't fire at you, and it just minimizes the number of enemies you have to deal with. And then you get a lot of enemies who are kind of in your close quarter range, and so they can be taken out a little bit easier. Now, like I said, you get some heavy enemies, which is difficult to deal with. It certainly was for me. But I go ahead and pick up a little bit more ammo there, and there should be another guy who pops down. Certain enemies in certain parts of this game, you have to do certain things in order to trigger it. So I felt like I had to move a little closer to the main area in order to trigger the second heavy. So yeah, if you don't see enemies popping down, like move up closer. And yeah, I don't know where he's aiming. Surprisingly, I don't finish him off. But then I use the sniper, trying to take some shots at him. Which even that doesn't work out. But eventually we get there. There we go. And now from here, I just kind of go to one side and the other, and then just slowly aim and pick these guys off. If I can aim properly. This first one's a little trickier. I have to end up hopping down. See the second guy there. Take him out. And I think once you take out those two guys, that does trigger the next wave of enemies to hop down. And at this point you can probably switch weapons if you're low on ammo. And then don't forget that one guy up there who's got the M32, which I probably could have picked up, but for some reason I chose not to. I think there's a few more up top. But yeah, I think this was the easiest way for me to deal with these enemies, just to kind of get out of the line of sight and then focus on the heavies. And then at this point, it should be enough to trigger the next section. Yep, and then once you hear that phrase, the next group of enemies will show up. And I think I pop a grenade just to take out a couple of them. Yep. And then I finish them off. Go. Once you hear that music cue, that should be the end of it. And you're supposed to go left, but before you do, pop around all the way to the end here, pick up treasure number 74. And then come back around to where you're supposed to go. You can hear my puppy making some very loud snoring noises. He loves to snore and let you know about it too. Alright, you go ahead and take out this enemy, but instead of going straight ahead, what you're going to want to do is hop around to the edge here and pick up treasure number 75. 75, 76, 77, and 78 are very close to each other, so you pick up a lot of treasures really quickly. There is an enemy here. It's the only enemy you have to fight until you reach the end of the level, so you can just melee him. You can shoot him. To save bullets, I just end up meleeing him. It's a little bit easier. And then treasure number 76 is right there. Then you're gonna go. Oh, sorry. There is actually one more enemy. And after that, you're gonna go down these stairs. And at the very bottom of the stairs, underneath the stairs, is treasure number 77. And after number 77, you're going to go straight ahead. And before jumping down, or you see that giant yellow highlighted section that you want to jump onto, but before you jump there, pop a quick left and then hit number 78. That's it for the end of this level. I'm going to show off all the trophies I earned on this chapter. Again, I do apologize for missing out on the beginning. Again, the recording was a little weird, but I will go back and show those treasures and where to get them. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next section for chapter 15. Until then, everyone, stay beautiful.
Sully! Sully? He's not here. Crap.
Nathan, you have given me so much trouble. I promise you, we're gonna end it now.
You never had him, did you?
Of course not. I lied. Remember? I'm a pirate. Yalla, let's go!
Yeah, that's right, buddy. Keep laughing.
بسرعة!